Hello, everyone. How you doing? Okay, so I guess we'll start with our project first. Um, right now, we're in the final stages of wrapping up our global grant to get the funding to do a wash project at 6 rural schools up in the highlands in the
Hey, Steve.
Western Division of Fiji.
Hey, Steve. You,
Yes.
you might want to say what a WASH project is, being Alyssa is new, so that may be an acronym that she doesn't have a clue, as many didn't.
Ditto. Ditto.
Yeah. Well, what is wash, Randy?
Wash rag. Yeah, there's wash rag.
Water and sanitation project.
All right. And hygiene, right?
Yep.
Okay. So our goal is to put in water tanks with hand washing mechanisms at 6 schools. And then out of those 6 schools, 2 of the schools, we're going to also install boys and girls bathrooms for the students. Because I'm under the impression that they don't have any water type of restrooms at the present time. So that's where we're at on that. And as far as getting that project wrapped up by October, I'm 50-50 on whether we can make that happen, just due to the logistical aspects on the Fiji end and getting the crews up to the schools to install everything. We might have a bit of a tight time frame as of right now.
Can you say where in Fiji it is? It'd be super cool if there was
Yeah,
a map,
it's
'cause there's so many islands.
well, it's on the island of Viti Levu, which is the main island, and it is going to happen in the Western Division, outside of a town named Ba, which is in the northern western part of the island. These schools are outside of that town. It's a cane farming community, pretty much 100% agriculture zone. And the schools that we're going to be visiting are outside of that town and up into the mountains there.
And what type of schools are they?
There's a variety of schools: a Muslim school, Hindu school, and then indigenous Fijian. And the indigenous Fijian schools are the ones that are right up in the bush bordering the rainforest. And we did a project at one of those schools about 7 years ago. So it's pretty cool. It's an adventure just getting to the schools, because the roads are not like Hawaii, to say the least.
Hey, Steve, Naomi and I were just talking conversationally yesterday about the project and been able to execute the project fully and or partially. What would be very good for us if we can't, have all, was it 5 schools or 6 schools that were doing the water tanks?
6.
6. If we can have a model of one completed with the bathrooms, that would be totally awesome. And you probably have some contacts down there that they could get the Rotary emblem embossed on the tanks, so folks know that those where those tanks came from.
Yep, I'm more than confident Teresa and Craig can help us out, because I know that they've done a lot of projects from Australia and New Zealand there, and they always ask them to put the Rotary sticker or some kind of plaque or recognizing where it came from.
And what we were thinking is Rotary in Hawaii would be pretty cool. because we can't list all the clubs, or we could. It would just be a whole lot more encryption on the side of the
Yeah,
tank.
and I know Mark knows the guys that do graphic designs. Is getting that done will be easy. Yeah, as far as getting one school done, I think that's realistic. I was just under the impression, we wanted them all done when we got there. But
That's
if-
ideal. That'd
If
be
the
very,
goal is
very.
for one, I mean, that's more. I'm hoping that we can make that time frame.
That's what I would like to see.
Can you
at a
explain
minimum.
what we would be doing? Like, I'm looking at everyone on the call and I'm like, okay, we all are
Okay,
mostly older. How does that play out?
Okay, well, what we're gonna, besides doing this global grant, we're gonna do school supplies, reading books, and female hygiene products for the girls. So the Rotary Club of Latoka already has a female hygiene program in place. And I was just hoping that we could combine that with taking school supplies and reading books to the schools for the kids. And that's pretty much the project, because that's what they need, and that's what our counterparts in Latoka advised us that that's what the kids need, and school supplies, reading books. So that
So
is
somebody else is doing all the labor, like, then that's what the grant money's for, that somebody else doing the labor of the installation and we're just going to
correct.
give school
We won't be
supplies
doing
and do
we
some.
won't be doing any construction. There'll be contractors that are going to be handling the whole project. So what we were supposed to do is, when it was done, go down there and give sanitation classes on proper hand washing and how to change the filters, and sanitation classes about washing your hands and staying clean.
Susie, we did kind of something similar when we went down to Bali, in that the main project was the refurbishment of their blood bank equipment, and of course none of the Rotarians had any experience in that equipment and stuff. So we did a ceremony with the local community on the dedication of the blood bank, but then the side jobs is where we all got involved, whether it was at an orphanage or the amputee place that we worked at and stuff. So kind of the same thing with going down, except we're going to just focus on wash when we're down there.
Sorry, never having done anything, I'm just full of questions, so don't mind me. Excuse me.
No problem. Now's the time. This is why we're having this meeting. I am also, I think another objective too is to open up D5000 to our brothers and sisters down in Fiji, so you guys can meet them. They have so much need down there. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And I think if we all went down there and we can solidify that bridge between us, it's going to open up a lot more opportunities for us to help them and help themselves and improve their lives.
Steve, if we can back up a little bit, originally the project was going to be putting in solar systems, but we were having a problem with that person who was the contractor. And so Steve has a friend in Fiji. His name is Mark McElrath. So when he says Mark, it's Mark McElrath, who's an owner of a McDonald's in Fiji. He gets a lot of grant requests. He helps the community. So he is on the ground. He knows what's going on and the needs. And he says there's a big need for schools. So Susie, it would be really good if you could go, because the schools there need help with literacy, they need books. There's a lot of things that they need. They don't, I understand they don't finish high school in Fiji, right, Steve?
Yeah, well, they have the old English system type. So after 8th grade, maybe 50% move on to 9th grade, and then it just keeps getting smaller and smaller. And by the time you're in 12th grade, you're basically doing your university entrance examination. And if you pass that, you're pretty much good to go in any Commonwealth country to go to university there. But it really weeds out the ones that aren't as intelligent, and it forces them into trade schools to learn a trade instead of becoming, following academia road. So there's a lot that can be done down there.
So the project that you would be doing when you actually go down there is hands-on with education. So the project itself has a budget of $57,000. So $6,000 is coming from the clubs. So the clubs here, it would be Eva Beach, Lahaina, Mililani, Hilo, and Metro putting in cash from their club coffers. Then we're using
And Pahoa.
no, Pahoa,
No.
we took off these, so you could use the money for something else because we scaled
Okay.
down the project. So we invited you because you did pledge originally. So you're part of this group who was interested. And there are other things that we can do, like the Hilo Foundation is going to be funding books and some other things to take down that is not part of the grant money. So the grant itself is $57,000, $6,000 from the clubs, $28,000 from DDF. And then we're getting another $22,000 from the World Fund from Rotary. So you see how our money is being enhanced by the World Fund from Rotary, and we're getting a bigger bang for our buck. So what they're getting with that money are for the water system, pumps, tanks, taps, filters, the labor, the toilets. So that all is included in that 57,000. Mark McElrath is the one who got the numbers for us because he's done this kind of thing in Fiji already. So it's not where we went in and said, we're going to do this. This is what they are saying in Fiji that they need. Okay.
Yeah.
So once they finish the project, that's one thing, but when we go down, it's going to be the educational piece. So Steve is working on what we can do with the schools there on bringing books, what kind of education we can give. It could be on, like Steve said, the water sanitation environment. It could be on women's health issues. So that's where it's a hands-on thing, as opposed to the Bali one, which was not that much. We were doing hands-on things, but not impactful things. So this is an impactful project that Steve is putting together.
But Steve, I remember you telling me that we didn't bring books and stuff down there because you wanted all the money to sort of circulate in the economy down there. But now I'm hearing.
No, the Rotary Club of Atoka has already gone out and got quotes from vendors on reading books, dictionaries, stationery, pens, pencils. So what we'll be purchasing it locally. And we have vendors that we've already used because we've been doing this since 2006. So there's school shops down there, and it's always good to pump the money into the economy down there. The problem really is if we take stuff down there with us, customs is going to nail us with import duty taxes, and then the materials become very, very expensive because they're going to charge us 100% duty on whatever the cost of the book is. So we might as well just buy it locally.
Where does one stay?
Well, there's okay, so I can get into all of that right now if you're ready. I took many avenues on trying to find the most cost-effective means of doing this. So I reached out to Fiji Airways and told them, I was putting a group together of 30 people. What kind of rate could they give us? And they came back to me yesterday and they told me it'd be $15.45. And I was like, thank you very much. That's $400 cheaper than you're advertising on your website today. So there was no break in the, in the group rate. The airfare alone, right now, I checked today and it was $1,100 round trip, including taxes. I do
Is that from
have
Hilo, Steve? Is that from
no.
Hilo?
That's from Honolulu because I didn't want to. When I check Expedia, the price is always better out of Honolulu than if you add Hilo, because what they do is they normally add $300 for the inter-island airfare. And we all know we can get it for $45 right now. So I leave the inter-island connection out. But we do have Rosie's Tours doing some pricing on rooms, which might be favorable. Hopefully we'll get that information this week. But as far as Expedia, I've been using them for 15 years. And I've only once in the last 15 years booked my airfare and my hotel separately, meaning I booked with Fiji Airways and then I booked my room with Hilton. Other than that, Expedia has always been the cheaper avenue. And when I checked today, hotels started from 1,500 with the airfare in the hotel, all the way up to 2,400. So the 1,500 was like 3-star hotels. The 21 to 2,400, that was all 5-star on Denarau, good security. That's where we always stay. Expedia is also good too because you can buy insurance, and if something happens and you can't go because of a medical emergency or a death in the family, you'll get 100% refund. And they're in the US. My parents bought tickets on Fiji Airways before the COVID shut down in 2020, and they just got their refund a month ago. So I'm sure they would have got a refund earlier if they'd gone through Expedia because it's based in the US. So that 15 to 2,400 was the airfare and the hotel. And then I'm working with Rosie's Tours down in Fiji for our ground transportation. So we can get a transfer from the airport to the hotels and then to do our projects also.
So Steve, is everybody making their own arrangements or?
Yeah, I think that's the best way because I tried to do the group booking thing and it's going to be way more expensive. Just the group booking is already a pain in the butt because we've got to get everybody's information. We have to send them a down payment, and their airfare was $400 more per person. So that's not a route that I'm recommending at all. But there's only one flight. So if we all book our packages separately, we're still going to be on the same flight. That's not going to be an issue.
People can stay longer if they want to stay longer to go onto a different island.
Oh, yeah. By all means. Absolutely.
Can a non-Rotarian come and assist with the project? Like a
Yes.
family member?
I don't have a problem with that. More the merrier. Maybe that non-Rotarian will convert to a Rotarian. So I did make out a tentative itinerary, which Naomi has graciously popped up on the screen there. So what I planned was leaving on the 3rd of October, and that flight departs Honolulu at 12 p.m. during the day, and we arrive at 7:10 on October 4th. So we leave on Tuesday. We're going to lose a day going down. It's going to be Wednesday when we get in, and it will be the evening. So we'll probably just have time for a quick bite and a drink and be exhausted from the flight and go to bed and wake up fresh for the next day, which would be October 5th, which is a Thursday. That day I planned on meeting up with the Latoka Rotary members and organizing all the school supplies and how we were going to pack them up and get organized for the next day. And then that evening have a dinner and cocktail with our fellow Rotarians. And then Friday, we would actually do our delivery of the supplies. I planned on an 8 to 3 because we do 5 schools that day. And then on Monday, we would do the one in closer to our hotel. And then Friday night, we'll probably organize a dinner outside at a local venue. So you guys can I'm going to try and find a restaurant that's got Fijian and Indian and Chinese and all the different ethnic groups down there. So you guys can experience the different tastes. Saturday would be an open day. If anyone wants to go play golf, take a day cruise, do a village tour, diving, fishing, golf. Rosie's Tours sent us a pamphlet on all the different activities that they have, and it covers a lot of bases. And then Saturday night, dinner would be to be determined on what we would all like to do that evening. Sunday would be an open day. People want to go play golf or do what they want, relax, and maybe Sunday afternoon we'd have a gathering and have some drinks and food, depending on what hotel I book. We normally stay at the Hilton, and the rooms that Corey and I get actually have barbecues in a kitchen. So if I'm able to get one of those, that would work out perfect for us to have a Sunday afternoon gathering. Monday would be the last day of us doing projects, and we'd go to Nandi to visit the one school that will be getting a WASH program, and then also go to Latoka and visit a village called Koronapita, which was started back in 1983 by a Rotarian named Mr. Peter Drysdale. And what he wanted to do was address needy housing, especially for those who were from different ethnic backgrounds and religions who got married and then they got disowned by their families and had no village or house to live in. Mr. Drysdale started a program where he leased some land from the government for 99 years, got Rotary involved, and they started building homes for families. And then all the families at that village have to live under the Rotary 4-way test. Their children have to go to school to get an education in order to remain in that village. And they also have to help out when they build a new house. So it's kind of like Habilitat on steroids, because they just don't build the house. They actually nourish the family in the village. And then the families have to pay a little bit of rent to learn financial responsibilities. And then after their children are out of school, then they have to move out, because by that time, hopefully, they've saved enough money to go build their own house. So it's a really cool project. And as of today, there's 975 homes at that village. So it's turned out to be a really awesome program that's helped a lot of people. And they have a kindergarten there. So normally we take, reading books and stuff for the kids, crayons for their kindergarten. And I'm done rambling now. So if anyone has any questions.
Steve, can you put your contact information in the chat so everybody's got your email address if they have other questions and stuff later on?
Sure.
We can email everybody with this itinerary.
Oh, okay.
Steve can let us know of exactly when the flights are. If everybody has to do their own booking, then we need to know exactly what flight number, or you have the flight number.
Yep, I have the flight number on there.
And then the hotel, how do they make the hotel reservation?
They're gonna do that through Expedia, and it'll give you a. Oh, I just lost the Zoom.
We can still hear you, pal.
Okay.
We just don't see you.
Yes, so let's just
Okay,
do
here
a-
we go. So how Expedia works is the best deal that you can get is by booking 2 or more people per itinerary. And they will do, what happens is you punch in, Honolulu to Nandi, your travel dates, and how many people and how many rooms you want. And when you enter that information, it's going to give you a list of the flights, which you punch in, saying you accept the flights. And then after that, it gets to the hotel portion where it gives you a list of hotels with a variety of prices. So there's a big option and a big price range on that. And I think it would fit everybody's budget, because you can go, from the low end to the high end.
maybe you can give them a couple of recommendations so that maybe
Yeah, well, we've stayed at the Hilton for the last 12 years because it's just an outstanding property, and the service that we get there is outstanding. At Denarau, there is the Sheraton, there's the Hilton, West Inn, Sofitel, Radisson. Those are all great properties. And in comparison to Hawaii, it's a good deal because the hotels are like $200 a day or less.
Can you, will you put the name of the hotel you're gonna stay at on the paper?
I sure can.
If everybody's staying in a different place, how do you coordinate all that? And is that place in Nandi by the water?
Yes, the Denarau is actually a little island near Nandi that has the hotels, and they're on the ocean. Sheridan has a decent beach. Some of them don't have a decent beach. There's bloody rocks and stuff because it used to be mangrove before. It's like reclaimed land. It's like Waikiki. But of course, that's why I want to do a day cruise to take you guys out to the outer islands, because that's just magic. Blue water, white sand beach, all the good stuff.
So would that be an extra? So I think we need to also calculate how much we all need to chip in for the transportation, the cruise, the.
Yeah, I'm working on that. I'm waiting on Rosie's tours to give us some prices. And then also depends on how many people go, because if we only have, say, 15 or 16 people that go with us, I've already got drivers down there that can take care of us. And they're a lot cheaper than the other forms. You know, they're air conditioned little mini Toyota vans that can hold like 10 people. So that's the backup plan. And we got a couple guys that we use all the time down there.
Steve, did you say that we're likely going to push the dates out further? Is that the likelihood? Or are these dates
no,
set?
we're definitely doing a trip in October. So
But not necessarily those dates, or for sure
no,
those dates.
it's gonna be those dates. It's gonna be the 3rd to the 10th. Because there's only 3 flights a week. So the other one goes through Samoa and one is nonstop, but the nonstop one is a nightmare for outer island people because it leaves at like 1 a.m. And then when you come back, it arrives at 12:30 at night. So you got like 5.5 hours to kill before the first inter island flight. So that's why I chose the Tuesday flight. And that goes through Christmas Island in the Republic of Kiribati. So that's kind of a cool experience.
I appreciate everything being sent forwarded. I have to take off. But thank you for all the information.
Yeah, no problem. And Susie, I know Mrs. Tanoy is going too. So maybe
Oh,
if
cool.
you, her, and your friend combine your booking on Expedia, you can bring the price down.
Yeah, it's maybe
Just
my
food
sister, and
for thought.
I got to speak to my school board and see if they'll let me go.
Oh, okay.
Benson, I might even call
tell
up
them you're
Ken.
going to the other corner of Polynesia.
I know.
You're going to where Melanesia and Polynesia meet. It'd be good for your educational resume.
Okay, ahuiho. See everyone soon. Mahalo.
Okay, Susie, aloha.
Thanks.
Okay, Steve, so we can get the
Yes,
information
ma'am.
out, yeah, and then presidents can let their clubs know and whoever wants to go can sign up, yeah?
Yep, sounds good.
Well, thanks, Steve. Appreciate the rundown on everything, pal. And we can hook up separately on the everything on the global grant side of the house to make sure that we're tracking and we've answered all the questions that RI has asked and stuff. So
Yep.
because I would really, at a minimum, like to have one of the schools and one of the water tanks and bathrooms completed when we're down there. It would just make it, I think, much more worthwhile for everybody.
Yeah, I think it's doable.
Okay, man. Sounds like fun. Let's figure out a way to make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're almost there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Well, keep us posted on any do outs or
right around the
anything.
corner, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're just waiting on Teresa. I'm not too sure if she might be out of the country again because she hasn't responded to that last email I sent a couple days ago. Mark did, but she was out, so she might be on the road. But I'll give her a call tomorrow and see what's up.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you very